Hey everyone, my name is Sean, and this is Sean Stocks. Today we're going to continue talking about the underdog, the lucky stock, the one and only CLOV, CLOV. Man, oh man, the last couple of days have really been a doozy for the stock as we've been continuing to see a pretty good dip for this great play that I am heavily invested in right now. The last couple of days, as you can see, right here, the last couple of days has been dropping quite a bit. Let's take a look at that 5-day a little bit. So a week from now, what was that? On September 16th, we saw an intraday high all the way at $8.62, and then we finally, in the last couple of days, broke through that $8 range and went into the $7 range. And I tell you what, when it was 8 to 10, that's a great buy range for me. And I even bought a little bit over 10 at one point as well. But under $8 to me is a super buy for the potential for this stock. And that's what I've been doing. I've been trying to find the firepower that I need, doing hobbies and stuff like that, and really just getting a little bit of extra money in order to help me out and put even more into this and lower my overall average for the stock. And I think that when you look again at the long-term potential, especially with a great opportunity for a potential short squeeze play here, that again, we are looking pretty good. And, you can't really go wrong, in my opinion. That's what I'm doing, right, in buying the dip that we are currently seeing, especially $7.72. If you think back, the lowest I personally have ever seen in my very first video, the stock was at $6.92. So we're not there, and I don't think that we'll hit the low sevens or anything like that. I think, again, we're going to see kind of what we did see, a couple of weeks or months ago, where we hit into the high $7 range and stayed up there in the high $7 range for a while. But you got to keep in mind, of course, the world news and everything like that. But first, before we dive into that, before I get sidetracked, let's talk about today's movements, because we know that's what kind of matters for today. So for today, we opened up at $7.90. After opening up at that price range, or that price right there, we did see a little bit of a drop all the way down to $7.72. That is an amazing opportunity today, and kind of the dip of the day to see there. After that, we went a little bit above that volume weighted average price, that little orange line right there, reaching up to $7.91, kind of in that middle of the day. But then we fell back down underneath the volume weighted average price and kind of stay there very much so within $7.78 and $7 and about 84 cents as well. And we did end off the day closing at $7.77. In the after hours, we did increase by about 2 cents there to reach $7.79. The volume of the day, again, pretty dang low, 15.61 million, with the average volume again continuing to decrease. I remember when it was like 52 million. Now it's like 36.15 million for the average volume. So again, that is also decreasing over time. When we take a look at the order flow, we can definitely see that today, zero for large scale orders for inflow outflow. So that is pretty consistent what we seen a couple days ago. And on the 20th and on the 17th, we saw more outflow than inflow on the 17th, and more inflow than outflow on the 20th. So kind of counterbalancing each other for those 2 days. But you take a look, of course, at the world news, and you take a look overall at the S&P 500 and everything like that, and it has been moving pretty drastically right there, having a pretty good dip. We're looking at the Vanguard S&P 500 ETF right here, and it went all the way from 411 to 395. That was a pretty big move there. What is that right there? It is about a 3.66 drop in the S&P 500. For people that don't know, that is a pretty big deal, and such a big deal that there is even articles written about S&P 500 books worst 4-day decline since May as market struggles to recover from Evergrande rout, right? So we got this thing happening in China. You can look it up, of course. I'm not really going to go over it overall, but basically it is the second largest, basically is the second largest property giant in China, and they had a little bit of trouble that they were facing there. And that is potentially causing a ripple across the entire market as well that we are seeing with this. So definitely kind of like the news is playing out with that, right? And so, when you take that into consideration, maybe that's affecting, of course, the overall market. When the overall market is affected, individual stocks are part of that as well. So I hope, and I do think that is kind of the reason, again, that we've seen this little bit of drop on Monday, the little bit of drop on Tuesday as well, but kind of holding steady to a certain extent, down 1% today on Tuesday. But, of course, in the middle of the day, though, or not in the middle of the day, but before the day, we did see some upward movement. Even today, we saw it reach $8.04 in the pre-market. Actually, what time was that? That was at 5:26 a.m. And for you guys that don't know, you can actually trade stocks anywhere from 4 a.m. Eastern all the way to 8 p.m. Eastern as well. And this is in the Webull app. I've spoken about this a couple of times. And to get those extended trading hours, you can, of course, sign up, get a free account. I have the link in the description. And you can also get 2 free stocks valued up to $2,300 as well. So make sure to check that out to get the extended hours, 0 commission fees as well, fractional shares, stuff like that as well, crypto on top of that. So make sure to check that out. And of course, you can sell those free stocks that you get for any of your favorite stocks that you have if you see a buy the dip opportunity, because I know that I have, and I definitely will. It also helps out the channel as well, so I really do appreciate it. But overall 4 a.m. to 8 p.m. hours there, and really, in the mornings, we did see big increases up to $8.04. So that was a pretty good jump even then, going from the previous day's close of $7.85 all the way to $8.04. So there's definitely opportunity to make a little bit of money if you are a day trader. I'm not a day trader, but I'm definitely a buy the dipper. So again, great opportunity that we're seeing right now. And I think that it hopefully is just temporary, and really, this stock price is really getting compressed, right? That's a lot of the times that you see, how far can this thing go? Because people are going to be like, okay, this is such a great opportunity to get in. There's really no bad news that I've heard about the stock. As always, I invite someone to at least comment some bad news that would indicate a drop in the stock price that would make this make any sense at all. Because I've called people out on it, even on Reddit and Twitter and stuff like that, and be like, hey, show me what you're talking about. Show me the FUD. Show me literally what you're trying to say and what is the negative information that you have about this company, about the stock, that's involved with the company, of course, and let me know about it, right? Because at the end of the day, I don't see much, right? All this downward movement, I think, is just really just market manipulation in terms of the stock and stuff like that, and really just a little bit of downward pressure that's coming out of nowhere, in my opinion. But again, maybe the last 2 days at least, you could say the entire market as well is involved with that. But regardless, let me know in the comments. I always like to hear what people have to say. So that's my little talking on that. But anyways, let's continue. So next, we're going to talk about option calls. So this week, we got a few option calls that are on the table here. A good amount of open interest around $8.50, a good amount of open interest around $9 as well, and it kind of trails off there until we hit $12. People are getting pretty dang bullish on this, going all the way up to $12, and that's going to be awesome if we can get there. But again, as I always say, buy shares, options, you're definitely taking a risk, because if you are out of the money, if you're not in that blue section, you basically lose all your money for that call, right? And so for that option trade that you did there, right? So keep that in mind. I always say, think about who's selling you those, who's writing those up and selling you those, because it's definitely people that want to make money. So keep that in mind, of course. But that is, interesting to see where we're at right now. In the, 750 is in the money, but really the big ones are out of the money currently. So that is something that maybe a lot of people unexpect from this week. And again, when you take a look at things like, maximum pain for this week, it is $8 right now. Of course, the stock price is under that price as well. So hopefully we get it pushed over the $8 range, just like we saw in the pre-market by the end of the week, especially for the people that do have options. I want you to succeed for those, right? When we take a look at Optionsonar, we can see for this week on the 24th, we have bullish 774,000 versus bearish 98.32 thousand. So a lot of money on that bullish side for this. And the next big increase, or the next big, jump that we see is in December, where we have 600,000 versus 21,000. So, the usual 30 times more bullish than bearish for that date in the future. So definitely interesting to see there at that end for this stock. Next, we're going to go into Ortex to talk about short interest percentage of the free float. And if you like this video so far, please smash that like button for me. It really does help. Also, subscribe and ring the bell so you can get notifications on my upcoming videos. In Ortex, we can see that the short interest percentage of the free float is sitting at 13.94%, a 6.75% increase for the day. And again, as I've been saying a couple of times in the past, the days to cover has been slowly going up, and it has not been this high. It has not been this high since June 9th, essentially. Since June 9th, the days to cover has not been this high. And then before that, kind of at the same kind of like area, we're hitting at, March 17th, March 18th for the days to cover. So maybe we can see a big increase to the days to cover and maybe get all the way up to 2.7. Maybe something like that would be very cool. And again, just a little bit of extra patience to see something big potentially coming in the future for the stock movement. The cost to borrow average is sitting at 1.91%, by the way. The cost to borrow max, check out the cost to borrow max. That's a little bit cut off here, but it's 13.06%. That is a huge gap that we're creating right there. Almost 11, about a little bit over 11% there for that gap from the average to the max. So that is definitely some big things that are happening there with the utilization rate at 86.89%. So a lot of, even though we have a downward movement, a little bit of downward pressure here, and we got this dip opportunity that we're experiencing, we do see a little bit of data that's a little bit indicative of potentially something big happening very, very soon. I'm talking about maybe in the next 1 or 2 months, right? Again, I'm not saying, buy it all now, get options, but rather I'm saying let's get shares, things like that. That's what I'm doing. That's what I'm thinking in my head. Let's get shares, right? And so that would be what I would do. And I have been doing that. And especially in the $7 range, man, that's my super buy. That's what I've been talking about. So we'll see what happens there. When we take a look at the short squeeze score, right now we're 61.14, 574 out of 5,355. So again, pretty high up there. Obviously, we've seen it first, number one on that list a couple of times, or in the top, 100 a couple of times. So hopefully we get up there as well. Short shares availability, we are seeing 3.1 million. On the 21st, we went under a million, even 950,000. And of course, the short borrow fee rates are about 1%, 1.08% right now for that as well. Next, we're going to go into dark pool data real quick. And for the dark pool, we can see that the volume for the day in the dark pool was 7.727 million in the dark pool, and that's about 51%. So again, we've seen that as high as like 60% there. So still pretty high for the amount of trades in the dark pool that we saw for the day. Next, we're going to talk about of course, our Reddit page, right? So our Reddit page for Clover Health. Of course, this is our meme of the day. Dip. That's cool, man. That's cool, man. And I am in the same sentiment. Nothing has changed but the price. Tell me some good FUD. I want to hear about it because no one has been able to tell me any realistically good FUD that would be like, oh, I want to take my share. I want to sell all my shares. No, I haven't seen literally anything. And so, I'm very I'm just like, why is the price dropping? So that's why we went to even the bigger picture with the S&P 500. But dip, that's cool, man. That's cool, man. And of course, we got 45.8 thousand members in the subreddit. I remember when we were around 10,000 members, under 20,000 as well. And we have been growing really well. So again, if you haven't, definitely join the subreddit. Next, we're going to talk about trending stocks on Reddit in the past 24 hours. As you can see, the trending stocks, we got S&P 500, Lucid Motors, Smile Direct Club, GameStop, Upstart, Context Logic, AMC Entertainment, Alibaba, Spire Global, I don't know how to pronounce that, Direxion Shares, ETF Trust, and then, of course, Clover Health at number 11. Moved up a couple of spots. Not too far off that list. But overall sentiment's pretty good, 71%. Wishbot, BB Time. Again, a lot of comparisons to AMC. People are still saying bag holding. I'm like, you know what? No, I don't think so. I still have belief in this stock. We've seen other stocks take their sweet time. Off, IRNT, CLNE, Moon, Holders, red. Yeah, today was a red day as usual for the last couple of days. But hopefully we see a good turnaround. Hopefully as soon as this week, because I really want to get us over that $8 price point. So hopefully we get that as well. And last but not least, I have a Twitter. So make sure to follow me on Twitter. Here's my Twitter handle right here. And often I do talk about the stock throughout the day. Today I was a bit busy, and yesterday I was a bit busy as well. Doing a lot of stuff happening in personal life. But overall really good by the dip opportunity that we've been seeing recently. And as always, I hope everyone has a great trading day tomorrow. You lucky people. Take care. Bye-bye.